The Chiefs made a surprising move today by signing a veteran wide receiver, Juju Smith-Schuster, to a one-year deal. This adds even more complexity to their wide receiver room, especially with the final roster cuts looming. They also released 13 players as they work to trim their roster from 91 players, including international player Jason Godric, down to 53 by the end of tomorrow. One of these cuts was particularly unexpected, so there's a lot to discuss. But first, let's dive into the details of this signing. As many of you know, the Chiefs usually focus on cutting players around this time of year to get their roster ready for the season. However, instead of just making cuts, the Chiefs decided to bring back Juju Smith-Schuster, who was recently released by the Patriots on August 19th. This move is intriguing because it's uncommon to sign a veteran free agent right before the final roster cuts, especially one of Juju's caliber. When Juju was initially released, I thought the Chiefs should at least consider him, check out his physical condition, and see how he's holding up. If he's healthy, there are clear benefits to having him back on the team. The Chiefs signed him to a one-year veteran minimum deal, which is a bargain, considering he had about $7 million guaranteed from his Patriots deal. The Chiefs are getting him for around $1.1 million this year, which is a steal. Now, Juju isn't the same player he was in 2022, and I don't think anyone expects him to put up those same numbers. But his return does offer some positives and raises a few questions. His presence adds depth to the wide receiver group, making it harder for the other receivers to secure a spot on the final roster. Right now, I see 5 wide receivers as definite locks: Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Justin Watson, and Juju Smith-Schuster. I doubt the Chiefs would sign Juju right before the cuts if they didn't intend for him to be a key part of the team. That leaves only 1 or 2 spots open for other receivers like Sky Moore, Nico Riggio, McCole Hardman, Justin Ross, and Kadarius Toney. Juju brings several benefits to the team. In 2022, he was excellent in the middle of the field, complementing Travis Kelce. While his 2023 season was disappointing due to an ankle injury and New England's struggling offense, he still managed 1,000 yards in 2022 with the Chiefs, making him their leading receiver outside of Kelce. Juju's physical style, with 232 receiving yards after contact in 2022, adds toughness to the offense. He doesn't need to play a huge role, which could help keep him healthy throughout the season. Juju can work the middle of the field, providing insurance for Rashee Rice, and fill in if Hollywood Brown faces more injuries. Juju also has the experience and familiarity with the offense, which should help him integrate quickly. Moreover, Juju's return could allow Travis Kelce to get some rest during games. Kelce is 35 years old and has dealt with injuries recently, so preserving him for the postseason is crucial. Juju is also reliable against zone coverage, a solid blocker in the run game, and brings valuable veteran experience to the team. It seems the Chiefs were eager to bring Juju back, as he passed his physical and signed a deal. Offensive coordinator Matt Nagy reportedly wanted Juju back as soon as he was released, and it's likely that Patrick Mahomes was on board with the decision too. They had a great connection during Juju's previous season with the Chiefs, so bringing back a trusted player makes sense. With Juju now in the mix, it puts other wide receivers on the bubble. The 5 likely locks are Worthy, Rice, Brown, Watson, and Juju, leaving 1 or 2 spots for others. Hollywood Brown could start the season on the PUP list, but the Chiefs probably want to avoid that, as it would keep him out until after Week 4. If Hollywood can return by Week 2 or 3, that leaves a fierce competition among Sky Moore, McCole Hardman, Justin Ross, and Kadarius Toney for those final spots. I believe Sky Moore will secure the 6th spot. He has 2 years left on his rookie deal and played limited special team snaps in the last preseason game. Moore could be a trade candidate, but unless that happens, I see him making the roster. The issue with Moore as the 6th receiver is that there's no clear punt returner on the roster. Xavier Worthy could do it, but the Chiefs might not want to risk him on special teams, considering how much they plan to use him on offense. Justin Watson has filled in as a punt returner before, but he's more of a last resort. That's why I think the Chiefs might keep 7 wide receivers, with McCole Hardman likely being the 7th. Hardman can handle punt and kick returns, and with Hollywood Brown injured, Hardman can step in as a gadget player on offense. He's also a speedster, which adds another dimension to the team's offense. If the Chiefs do keep 7 receivers, Hardman seems the most likely to fill that final spot. As a vested veteran, if the Chiefs cut him, he wouldn't have to clear waivers, so they have some flexibility with their decisions. The Kansas City Chiefs have made some significant moves, not only adding a veteran wide receiver, but also trimming their roster as they prepare for the upcoming season. The team signed Juju Smith-Schuster to a one-year veteran minimum deal after he was released by the Patriots. This move adds depth to the wide receiver room, but also complicates the decision-making process for the final roster cuts. With Juju back in the fold, the Chiefs now have 5 wide receivers who seem like locks for the final roster: Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Justin Watson, and Juju himself. This leaves just 1 or 2 spots open for other receivers, like Sky Moore, McCole Hardman, Justin Ross, and Kadarius Toney. Juju's return brings multiple benefits, including his ability to offset Travis Kelce in the middle of the field, where he was highly effective during his last stint with the Chiefs. However, his addition also raises questions about the future of other receivers, particularly those on the bubble. McCole Hardman, like Juju, is on a veteran minimum deal and could face a similar situation to what the Chiefs have done with tight end Blake Bell in the past, being cut initially and then re-signed after some roster shuffling. Kadarius Toney, despite being a dangerous returner, is less likely to make the roster due to his higher cap hit and lack of trade value. Justin Ross, who can't contribute on special teams, is another player on the bubble. His fate may depend on whether the Chiefs decide to keep 6 or 7 wide receivers. If they opt for 7, Hardman seems the most likely candidate, especially given his ability to return punts and kicks. In addition to the wide receiver moves, the Chiefs have also made several cuts, including quarterback Ian Book, wide receiver Kyle Sheets, and defensive tackle Alex Nur, among others. The most surprising cut was cornerback Kelvin Joseph, who had shown promise during camp but was sidelined by an injury. As the Chiefs continue to narrow down their roster, more moves are expected before the final 53-man roster is set. The addition of Juju Smith-Schuster and the cuts made so far indicate that the Chiefs are focused on building a roster with depth and versatility, particularly in the wide receiver room.